is up, everyone? It is Artistic Sunrise here, coming back at you with another video. So today, I have some book series here. I have a total of 5 book series here that I'm going to recommend for you if you haven't read them already. And these are kind of book series that either got me into reading or mean a lot to me. So, this is kind of a book recommendation video / my favorite series video. So I'm gonna start off with the first series that I ever read, and that is, I only have the last 3 books in the series, last 2 and then the novella. I'm looking into buying the first 3 books. But this is the Selection series by Kiera Cass. Now, this series, I initially read the first 3 books in 6th grade, and I am currently rereading it on ebook form, and I am completely in love with it. I am like 50 pages into the first book, and I'm just like, ooh, tension is getting spicy. It's a lot of fun to reread these books, and I just cannot wait to continue on with this. So, I very much recommend this series. This is the first series that I actually ever initially read, so I very much recommend it. It's kind of Hunger Games meets, Hunger Games meets The Bachelor. Because you're fighting for this one guy, basically. There's 35 girls, and they're all going after a prince, and this prince has to choose one within a certain time span. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of fun to read, and I very much recommend it if you're looking for something kind of like The Bachelor. If you're into that show, then I really recommend these books for you. I have never watched it, and I just really enjoyed these books, so yeah. The second series that I have here is a childhood favorite. How can I not mention this when it's in one of my videos? Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I am missing the first book in the series. I lent it out to someone. So, but this book series is phenomenal. This book series, my mom read it to me every night before I went to bed, within the span from when I was in kindergarten to 2nd grade. And I just remember falling in love with these characters, and I really recommend this if you feel like reading an adventure-packed, kind of sassy book, because the main character in this, I will say he is sassy, and I'm a stand for that sassiness. I very much enjoy the sassiness. But, so, I very much recommend these if you're just looking for a fun, middle grade read. Although they do not feel like middle grade to me, they are considered middle. So, yeah. And to go along with this, I also had the Heroes of Olympus series. So, if you haven't read this series, you can technically still read this, but I very much prefer you to read. I very much recommend that you read these 5 books before you read these ones. And because this is kind of a continuation onto the first series, and oh boy, this contains one of my favorite books of all times, House of Olympus. House of Hades. The House of Hades. Oh my gosh. But this series has put me through an emotional ride this year. I started off reading this, I want to say fall last year. I was really getting into the first book, Heroes of Olympus, to the first book in the series, The Lost Hero, and then I got the book set from my brother for Christmas last year, and between the months of January and February, I read the second, third, and fourth book, and then just this September, I finished off the series, and now I'm reading the Trials of Apollo series. This series made me cry, and I really recommend it if you're, again, looking for something fun with a mix of sass in there. Though this is a continuation onto the Heroes of the... I swear. Though this is a continuation onto the Percy Jackson series, you don't necessarily have to read it, but you just connect to some of the characters more by reading that series. And in this series, they are older. They're like 17 and 18 in this series. Some of them are around the ages of 14. I think the youngest is 14. And then there's ranges of ages, and I just connected with the characters so much in this book, and I just feel like when I'm reading them, I feel like I'm seeing it in their eyes, and Rick Riordan does such a good job of the world building and character descriptions, character thoughts, and I don't know what my life would be like without these two series. And so, yeah, I very much recommend these two series. And these are longer books. The fourth book is around 600 pages, but again, the fourth book is probably my favorite because of events that happen. And yeah. So the next series, I'm only bringing out the first book with it because I don't have the second book. But I do have the third. But this is in best condition. So this is my all-time favorite series. The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. And, you know, I've read all of these series completely, except for this one. This one, I am pushing off The Darkest Legacy. I need to read it. I need to. So I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna finally push myself to read it after finals, because I'm so stressed out with finals coming up next week and them being online this year, and I'm not entirely caught up on school. I kind of fell behind when we switched over to online school earlier last month. And so I'm just completely stressed out with that. But in other words, I don't necessarily need to reread this, but I think I might after I read The Darkest Legacy. But, so, I very much recommend this. If you're looking for a dystopian book with kind of something that you wouldn't want to happen, but you still think it's very cool. Not really. I don't know. So, if you don't know, this book is basically about kids, about a virus that hits the United States, and it kind of wipes out the kid population. And so, the government doesn't care about the kids that died from this. They don't care about the empty spaces left behind. No. They care about the ones who survived this disease because their DNA was altered and now they have powers. And so the government is afraid of these kids and they lock them up in camps who say they're doing experiments on these kids to try to get them to feel better. When in reality, these camps are just a work camp where they use them for polishing shoes, gardening. It's it's torture, basically. And so in this, you're following a girl named Ruby, and she is the strongest of all of them. She has the power to control minds. She is an orange, and basically she can wipe people's minds, she can control them and make them do whatever she wants. And so they tried to kill her, didn't work out, and then this league calls I can't speak. This league called the Children's League basically took her from this camp, and she escaped from them and then found this group of kids. And let me tell you, one of my book boyfriends comes from this book series. Liam. Yes. But so basically she meets this group of kids and they go on adventures trying to find the cure for this disease. And yeah, I very much recommend this series if you cannot tell how enthusiastic I am about it. And I just love the series with all my heart. I don't know who I'd be without it. I don't even know if I'd be the book nerd I am without this series, because this series has changed my life for the better, and this series is really one of the series that really got me into reading and just really stuck with me. And I'm super excited because Alexandra Bracken has a new book coming out in less than a month, and I'm super excited, really excited for that, because it's a twist on Greek mythology, and I love Greek mythology, and I'm just over the moon excited for that, and I'm gonna stop talking now. So the last series that I have here, I just finished reading this last month. This is the Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. Now, let me tell you, I started this series with a fun heart, thinking, this is gonna be fun to read. I've heard that it's really good. I left this series with a broken heart, tears going down my face, and wondering what the heck I'm gonna do with my life now that I finished this. It hit me hard. I very much the series is just, oh. The last book got me, and I can say one name and I will cry. Oh. So basically this series, if you don't know what it's about, it's a dystopian series where each year they have this kind of Hunger Games thing, and it's where they pick and choose a girl and a boy from each district. There's 12 districts, and so Katniss, our main character in this book, her sister ends up getting chosen, and she rushes to volunteer for her. And now she's in the Hunger Games, and so it's basically about her the first book is basically her trying to survive the Hunger Games with a boy that I'm not gonna say anything. With a boy that she's kind of grown up knowing, kind of not. It's somewhere in between. And so the second one, the government they're basically trying to fight the government from there on. And yeah, I very much enjoy these books. I very much recommend them if you're looking for an action-packed filled book just with a lot of emotional potential to destroy your life. And to be honest with you, I kind of really need the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I want to read that so bad. But, you know, I'm holding off because I kind of don't have the money for it right now. But, you know, we're gonna get it eventually. We're gonna read it eventually. So, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next video. If you have any book recommendations or video recommendations that you want me to do, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, please. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe and hit that post notification bell as you're subscribing. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!